And now.
That's the middle shot. He scores! Slips it off to Wyatt Matthews. He's in! Eagles take the lead!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Welcome to Sports Talk, the number one sports podcast in the Philadelphia area. Come on out here, Brodes. This episode of Sports Talk with Brodes is brought to you by Sports R Philly. Sports R Philly contains a wide variety of great blogs across the Philadelphia area. You can follow them on Twitter at Sports R Philly or check out their website, www.sportsrphilly.com.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. As always, follow me on Twitter at sportsandbrodes, and this will allow you to see when I upload a new YouTube video and a new podcast. To call into the show, use your voice recording app on your phone and send it to sportsandbrodes@gmail.com, and you can be featured as a caller into the show. So let's begin, shall we? An Eagles dominant performance. 34-7 for the good guys. I thought we looked absolutely great. Carson Wentz with a dominating performance. I had one problem throughout the whole entire game. One major problem. And this occurs at the second half with Doug Peterson. There's 40 seconds left of the half. You get the ball back at the half. So with 40 seconds left, he wants to take a shot in the end zone. It gets intercepted. My theory is you're already up. You're already winning the football game. Why take a shot there? Why not run the football, let the clock run out, hit a field goal, and get the ball back at halftime? Why that pisses me off is because, yeah, you know what? It ended up not hurting us because after they intercepted it, they charged down the field with 40 seconds left, had an opportunity to kick a realistic field goal, but our special teams blocks it, so it saves Dougie P once again. Just like that 4th and 8th call earlier in the season. Our defense stopped them to make it look like Dougie P wasn't as dumb as he was. Granted, we won the game 34-7, so I can't sit here and destroy our coach. But that's just little things when you get in the playoffs, when you get deeper in the season, when you play tougher opponents than the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to make it hurt. They're going to stick it to you, and they're going to nail these points that you are pretty much giving it to them. I mean, our first 3 possessions, we scored 3 touchdowns. Torrey Smith with a 59-yarder. Zach Ertz with an 11-yard touchdown, and Trey Burton with a 15-yard touchdown. 21-7 going into half. It could have been 24-7 or 21-10, and that's the little things that can help a team really boost their confidence going into half. If Arizona ended up hitting that field goal, now it's only 21-10 instead of 21-7. Or, hey, the Eagles are up 24-7 at half and get the ball back. That's the only thing that concerned me, and it concerned me a little bit, but like I said, once you start playing better teams, better squads, smarter head coaches, it's going to come back to bite us. Now, when it was 24-7 in the third quarter, Nelson Aguilar scored a 72-yard touchdown pass from Carson, and he made the defender look stupid with a spin, a nice stop and cut, go back towards the sideline and run in for the end zone, does a little taunt, too, falls back. He looks like a whole different player. And I love it. He looks like the guy we drafted, and it makes me so happy. We looked so great today. It was absolutely phenomenal how great we looked. I believe that this is the greatest thing that could have ever happened to us. And this might be a ridiculous statement, but the Chip Kelly era might have been the greatest thing to ever happen to the city of Philadelphia. And hear me out, Carson Wentz would have never been here if it wasn't for that happening. We would have never had Carson Wentz. So everything happens for a reason. Carson Wentz was 21 for 30, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Come on. LeGarrette Blount ran for 74 yards. Barner with some punt returns, big time punt returns. And even Corey Clement had a great game, getting a little bit more touches with Smallwood not there. Nelson Aguilar had 93 yards and 4 receptions and a touchdown. This is beautiful. Our offense looked great. Our defense looked great. Our special teams looked great. We're moving along to a Thursday night game against Carolina, who is also 4-1. In Carolina. Am I a little nervous? This is a test. This is a test. And I am just saying, if we do lose this football game and we are 4-2 after 6, I cannot be upset with that. It could be a lot worse. Cam Newton is starting to play a little bit. They're kind of finding their mojo again. So we'll see how we play against them. It's a short week. So we just got to see how the bodies heal up. Do they heal up quick enough? We are not 100%. We don't have Fletcher Cox. We don't have Darby. And that's why this team amazes me, because we aren't fully healthy, and we're still winning football games. And this was more than just a win. This was a dominant performance. And that is seriously the truth. And the last thing, I just feel like LeGarrette Blount isn't being used enough. But I get he's an older guy. I get that maybe they're trying to space out the touches between backs so LeGarrette Blount doesn't get so worked in the first portion of the season. I get all that. And listen, like I said, I can't be hating on a man like Dougie P when he puts on a dominating performance like that. But he's good for one stupid call a game. I didn't like the way we played the halftime situation. But I don't want to focus on the negative, which I feel like I have been. It was a great game. The Eagles are 4-1 after 5. And we're leading the NFC East after a amazing late comeback run by Aaron Rodgers to defeat the Cowboys. I saw that coming a mile away. You give a minute and 14 seconds left on the clock to Aaron Rodgers late in the fourth. Isn't it pretty obvious what's going to happen? The Packers win 35-31, and that's with the refs being on their side. For the first touchdown of the game, there was a play in the end zone where Dez Bryant missed the ball. One of the Packers players hits Dez Bryant on his way down, and they threw a personal foul flag, which was absolutely insane and ridiculous. The next play, they score a touchdown to Beasley. Then late in the game, on 4th and 1, they go for it. Zeke gets stopped. They review it. From overhead, you can see that he does get the ball over the pile of players from reaching out his arm. The only thing that bothered me was the spot of the ball. They brought the chains out, and they gave him a half a football length over the first down mark. If anything, it was barely, just barely a nip of the football. That just pisses me off. But regardless, you give too much time for Aaron Rodgers to do something like that, and he's going to make you pay. And he does it with perfection every time. So, the Dallas Cowboys lose. And the Eagles are sitting at 4-1 The Washington Redskins are sitting at 2-2. The Dallas Cowboys are 2-3, and the Giants are 0-5. Losing to the Chargers 27-22. And I hate to see this because I respect great athletes. I'm obviously an athlete myself. You hate to see guys go down. And Odell Beckham Jr. had a very, very bad leg injury, ankle injury. Very serious. And he was crying his eyes out on the field. He was intensely crying. It was upsetting to see. I will be honest with you. It was very upsetting to see. The Giants also lost Brandon Marshall, Shepard, and along with Harris. Their whole entire receiving corps went down in one game, and they're 0-5. And ever since they took that picture on the boat, they're 0-6. Who would have ever thought? This is truly one of the most insane stories of the football season so far. The New York Giants are sitting at 0-5. Winless season so far. I can't process that. I seriously cannot process that. Let's go through a couple of NFL game scores that doesn't affect the NFC East. I thought the 1 o'clock hour games were kind of boring. The Jets beat the Browns, so the Browns are not going to get a win. I just swear to you that they won't get the win. The last 3 weeks they were favored. Like I said last episode, I think by the time the game started it was a pick'em, and it was, and they lost the game. There's no way they're going to win a football game this year. There's no way. That Colts-Niners game was in overtime. I was screaming at Red Zone for it to get off my TV. It was such a waste of my time. The Colts and 49ers. Colts take it if anyone cares. The Jaguars destroy the Steelers. I put Ben Roethlisberger in because Matt Ryan was on a bye week on my fantasy. Throws 5 interceptions. One of the worst games of Ben Roethlisberger's career. And one awesome play that occurred during that football game was Leonard Fournette stiffs arm a defender, waves a defender, another one, at him, pretty much saying, "Let's go, baby, meet me right here." And they both lower their shoulders and great contact. But he waved him on. Like, "Let's go. Come at me." That's amazing. I loved it. That says a lot about a running back. It truly does. Heading into the 4:30 games was a lot better. The Ravens beat the Raiders. Amari Cooper getting me nothing in fantasy. He's pretty much screwed with Carr not being in there. And the Seahawks beat the Rams. Goff with a couple interceptions. It was a tough go-around for the Rams. I think this was a good test for them to see what they had against a really solid defense. Goff was 22 for 47, 288 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. I think this was a good test for him to see where he stood against a top-tier D. And at this moment right now, the Chiefs are playing the Texans. It's the second quarter. J.J. Watt left the game. He was pretty much in tears. Coming after the not being able to play last year to getting hurt right now. It's a sin to see a man like that go down. He's a hard-working man. He's a good guy. It's a home game for the Chiefs. For the Texans. And you could see the fan base all worried and upset for him. They love him there in Houston. Who wouldn't for what he's been doing for the city? But as we speak, it's the start of the second quarter, and the Chiefs are up 6-0 after hitting 2 field goals. So that was the NFL day. Overall, I thought it was great. The 1 o'clock games were a little boring. That Green Bay Cowboys game really was perfect. It felt like Thanksgiving. You know those just Thanksgiving Day games? It just had that feel. And it was awesome. I got to kick back, no class tomorrow, and just enjoy football today. It's a fall break for me. So I'm off Monday, Tuesday. I don't even know what that means. But it was nice. It was nice to sit back, relax, watch some fantastic football. I have a violation on one of my good buddies, Maddie. Diehard Eagles fan, as we all are in our group chats that we text all day long during the Eagles games and during football. All day, of course. He bet the Cowboys. There's two things you never do. You never bet against your own squad to lose, because you don't want to be sitting there rooting for your team to lose just so you win money. And you never vote for the Cowboys to win a game. You never bet on the Cowboys. Whether you think it's going to win you money or not, you don't bet on the Cowboys ever to win. That means you're rooting for the Cowboys. That is a sin. You go straight to hell in the Eagles fan base mindset, forever rooting for the Cowboys. He told me if he won, I could stick it up my you-know-what. If I won, he would call into the show and let me rip him. I told him I'm waiting for his call. He hasn't called in yet. I'm still going to rip him right now. And if he does call in, I will rip him again and put it in my next episode. You never, ever bet on the Cowboys. It's just not a thing. It's a huge violation. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is how crazy sports are right now. And this is perfect. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. I started this in the summer when it was the middle of the baseball season. Football camps were starting. Now here we go. I have college football on at the same time as the MLB playoffs, at the same time as the Flyers, at the same time as other NHL games, multiple college football games are, multiple baseball games are. There's not enough TVs for me to watch what I want to watch. I have to stream them on my laptop, put them half screen. I have 3 TVs in my living room, one with a cable box, one gets streamed with an Xbox, one gets streamed with a laptop. The other 2 games I watch it on my laptop, half screened. There's just so much, I can't even choose what to watch half the time. It's so overwhelming. But it's beautiful at the same time. It really is. I mean, speaking of baseball, there's been some great baseball. That Indians-Yankees game, there's an Indians-Yankees game going on right now at this very moment. It's 0-0 in the top of the 6th. Cleveland's leading 2-0 in the series. But game 2, I actually missed Lindor's grand slam because I was flipping through all the other amazing games that were going on. I just couldn't choose what to watch. They were down 8-3 to the Yankees. And they end up coming back and winning 9-8 in the 13th inning. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. 8-3, bottom 6. Lindor hits a grand slam to make it 8-7. Then in the bottom of the 8th, Bruce hits a single home run, 8-8. And then in the bottom of the 13th, it was a single to win it. And it was one of the biggest blown games in Yankees playoff history. The Red Sox survive. They won 10-3 in Fenway to make the series 2-1. Houston, I think, will still pull away with this. They just look a little bit stronger than the Red Sox. And you can't be mad if you're a Red Sox fan. You're playing a team that's better than you and ready to win the World Series now. Boston's young. This is great for Boston to have this kind of experience at this age. The Dodgers are beating the Diamondbacks 2-0 in their series. I thought the Diamondbacks would have a little bit more push than this, but you know what? The time off the Dodgers had is looking fantastic for them. It's looking great. It's probably everything that they needed. We'll see how they respond. And the Nats, Cubs, let's talk about a huge game and momentum swing started with Bryce Harper. They were down 1-0, and in game 2, they were down 1-0 in the series, I'm saying, and in game 2, they were down 3-1, and in the bottom of the 8th, Bryce Harper hits a 2-run shot, bat flip, hair flip. It was just absolutely beautiful. And in the same inning, Zimmerman hits a 3-run shot. They take the lead 6-3, and that's how they finish it. But a huge momentum changer in the series. You don't want to be going down 2-0 in the division series. You don't want to be doing that, not in the 5-game series. So to make that 1-1, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So we'll see how this Yankees-Cleveland game comes out. Middle of the 6th, 0-0 in New York. Cleveland wins this, they're moving on. They'll probably win the series, but hey, let's make it interesting. Let's see what happens. Just like with that Red Sox, they make it 2-1. They're in Fenway again. If they can pull it out, make it Game 5, anything can happen. I would be shocked because I think this Houston team is absolutely crazy. The way that lineup is hitting right now with Altuve, Springer, Correa, it's insane. But the beauty of sports is you never really know what is going to happen. So it's Sunday night right now. And tomorrow is a big day for the MLB. You got Game 4 of Red Sox and Houston. You have Game 3 of Cubs-Nats. If necessary, if the Yankees win tonight, they play again tomorrow. And Diamondbacks are hosting the Dodgers for Game 3 tomorrow. So you got all the games. And you never know what can happen when Arizona goes home. You don't. But let's move it around a little bit to some college football. And there were some good games. There were definitely some good games, like Michigan State. Michigan State pulls out upset. They beat 7th-ranked Michigan. In Michigan. It was crazy. 14-10. Jim Harbaugh is having a tough time beating rival schools. If you look at his stats, he doesn't do that great against big-time schools and big rival games, that is. And if you look at Michigan's schedule, they still have to play Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin. I am a little scared for this Michigan team. If they end up winning out and beating those 3 teams big time, then I still think they have a chance. But do you really think that they're going to? I don't think they're going to sweep Penn State, Ohio State, and Wisco. There's got to be a loss there. Who knows? Maybe that loss was a big wake-up call. That was a true test for Michigan State, though. They are now 4-1. Or did that make them 5-1? Were they 4-1 before that? I'm losing track of weeks here. So much football. Yeah, okay, that made them 4-1. It was amazing. Great college football is tough to beat. The style of play. LSU beats 21-ranked Florida. After losing to Troy, they come back and beat a ranked Florida team? I like that. That's a true test. That's a head coach who trusted his men to get ready and say, listen, just because we lost to a Troy team does not mean that our season is completely over. We got to continue to work hard and see what will happen the rest of the way. Let's just go out there, compete, and win football games, and whatever happens, happens. So they beat a ranked team. That's good. That's great. TCU beats West Virginia. That was an 8-23 matchup. TCU being 8, they won 31-24. That was also a great game. Florida State at home loses to a 13-ranked Miami team 24-20, and there was a huge problem at the end of this game. Late in the game, Miami scores a touchdown. Air quotes, around scored. You look at the replay, was his knee down short? Well, it wasn't conclusive, so they stuck with the touchdown call. My personal opinion, absolutely down. Miami, his knee was down, and Florida State could have won the football game. A Florida State that's on his third-string quarterback controversy. Definitely controversy. Bama puts a beating on Texas A&M. 27-19. Another performance in the books. And the biggest upset of the night. Iowa State beats Oklahoma 38-31 with a late touchdown with about 4 minutes left into the fourth quarter. It was crazy. At the end of the game, the Iowa State quarterback throws their flag into the logo of Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield was asked about it after the game, and he said, "That's fine. I would think that would happen. We just got to move forward with the season." That was a big-time loss. The question was the Michigan game more painful than the Oklahoma? I don't know. I think so, because you look, like I said, you look at the remaining games for Michigan. They're going to have a tough time going undefeated the rest of the way. Not saying that Oklahoma might not. Let's take a peek at Oklahoma's remaining schedule. Let's see what they got left in the season. I doubt it's as tough as what Michigan has. They have Texas Longhorns, who, I'll be honest with you, I think they're not as bad as what people think. They're having weeks that are better every single week. They are progressing. They have an Oklahoma State team that has a great quarterback. They have a TCU team that's ranked in the top 10. They have a West Virginia team. Those are tough games with a loss already in the belt. Let's see where we are with the poll. Bama 1, Clemson 2, Penn State 3, Georgia 4. Right outside the playoff, we're sitting with Washington at 5, TCU 6, Wisco 7, Washington State 8, 9 Ohio State, and 10 Auburn. That is the top 10 as of now. Michigan falls to 17. Michigan State jumps to 21. We got ourselves a doozy here. We really do. Who knows what is going to happen? Literally. Anything can happen, and that's what's beautiful about college football. And the last thing I have in mind for today is just a little bit of NHL. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. The Flyers win against Anaheim in overtime. Wayne Simmons scores it. Nolan Patrick looks like he's just, I'll put it in perspective of his playmaking ability. Ben Simmons. So right now, what we have going on with these young players in Philadelphia is awesome. We have players like Ben Simmons, who is going to be fantastic facilitating the floor. Don't make me do this again. Don't make me go off on him again. But now we have a version of this man on the ice with Nolan Patrick. And if you don't know who he is, he went second overall last year in the draft. He was projected to go first. He just got a little injury bug, and we swooped him up at 2. And he looks great. And now he got his first point in the NHL with a great play on the power play. We are 2-1, and we play Nashville Tuesday night to continue the season here. And that's where we are with the Flyers. I still need to read what we got going on. Elliott looks good in the back end. I just need a few more games to really see what kind of team we have going on. Sticking around the NHL news, the Las Vegas Knights wins again. James Neal is the hero in that city right now with 2 game-winning goals. They're 2-0, and he scores in overtime to win it for him again. I'm curious to see how they're going to work out in Las Vegas. A first-year team, are they going to have over 30 wins this year? They have the goaltending to do it. Marc-Andre Fleury is a legit goalie that they stole from Pittsburgh because they have Matt Murray back there. So that's a huge pickup. But then you got guys like James Neal who you can rely on. I don't think they're anywhere near ready yet. They built for the future in a very great way, and the amount of draft picks that they have are amazing. So watch out for them in the next couple of years. But, it's only 2 games in. But to be 2-0 at the start, let's see where this can go. This can be a really big confidence thing. Think about losing your first 2 games. You're 0-2. It's like, oh, okay, we're going to really have to build here. 2-0, it's, hey, boys, we can do this. Although they did beat a Dallas Stars team who is relatively good, and then they beat the Arizona Coyotes last night, and they are obviously not known to be anything spectacular in this league. And one of the biggest news of the NHL is Alexander Ovechkin going back-to-back hat tricks. And not only that, he scored his hat trick in consecutive periods, apparently. I did not see the games. These are on highlights that I saw on NHL Network on the fly. But he scored his hat trick in the 3rd period of his last game. And then the 1st period of the next game, he scored a hat trick. So 2 consecutive periods, apparently, he got these hat tricks. But the goals are amazing. We're talking about spinning around without even seeing clap bomb that goes top cheese. And if you're not into the hockey terminology here, that's amazing. And that means he spun around, took a slap shot without even looking, and it went top shelf. That's what I'm saying. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video here. It was a great episode. I'm backed up on homework big time. So I got to grind it out this Monday, Tuesday. Get an episode out for you Wednesday and keep grinding homework Wednesday. I'm going to be busy the next couple days. It sucks, but that's part of it. You can follow me on Twitter at sportsandbrodes, and this is where you will find out when I upload new videos on YouTube and new podcast episodes. You can call into the show using your voice recording app on your cell phones, sending it to sportsandbrodes@gmail.com, and I will put you in the show. You can ask me any question. Do not be afraid to send in your questions. I will use them, I promise. Let's go, Eagles. We will do this again. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.